What's up, everyone? So I wanted to shoot a little update video, and unfortunately this is the 10th or 11th take tonight I've done of this particular video. And I've also tried making this before I did the voltage regulator video that I did just recently. And this time I'm a little more organized. I can talk about some things because I have a little bullet point list here to bring up. But it's harder for me to actually talk to the camera and talk to everyone out there in the viewing audience than it is for me to actually point the camera at my desk and work on something and show you what's going on. And part of that's because I'm not a super duper social guy. I do have social media, just Facebook, and I do have a personal YouTube page that I do post things to once in a very blue moon. The YouTube channel's more for like my camping trip stuff or just little random things that maybe won't fit in this particular channel. And Facebook's just like a post once a month top, maybe once every 2 months, just to let my family know I'm alive, kind of thing. That's pretty much it. It's kind of hard for me to sit here and talk to the camera, more so than it is to point it at the desk and talk about something else. So thanks for bearing with me on this. But part of the problem is there's so many things I want to say, I don't know what order to say them in. So there's good, there's bad, there's ugly, there's all these different things, but I only want to highlight 6 really things, and I'm sure I'll go on in detail about each of those 6 things. First off, I want to start off by saying I'm at the 1,000 mark. It's actually 1,041 subscribers, that is. Couldn't ask for more. That's really awesome. I'm super stoked by that. And I'm a little concerned by that too, in a way. Based upon goals, I had a goal of 100 subscribers in the first year because I didn't think I would make it, and I blew right past it. And I don't remember what I closed out 2016 with, but here it is, the end of March, and I'm at 1,041, and I'm like, would never believed I would have been there. So my goal for this year is to get to 1,500. And judging by growth, I guess that's not unreasonable. What this concerns me is that I've seen newer channels come around that have less videos than I do, that get a lot more subscribers. I know the content might be different. It might be put together better, edited better. Some of the videos are shorter, they're more to the point. I know I can't please everyone, and right now this is just a hobby. I'm only doing this for fun. Eventually, hopefully, maybe one day it'll be a full-time thing. I'll be actually hitting the road as an actual business to do jobs for people, whether it's hooking up home theaters or fixing your computers or whatever the story is going to be. Eventually, I'd like to do that. I just don't have the gumption, anything at all like that, to just get up and put all my eggs in one basket and run with it. I kind of like having the day job, this as a hobby, and the other thing as a very brief side thing that I do. And I definitely get enough calls from family members or friends to make the idea worth my while, but not enough where I can go through my day job. Why do I need that? I can make money on my own. Hopefully one day, hopefully soon one day, I'll be able to say, I don't need to work a full-time day job. I can work a part-time day job, and I can have money coming in supplementary through this channel, through my side business. Maybe it can turn into some kind of a slippery slope, I'll call it, and the whole thing kind of escalates, and then I don't need a day job at all. We'll see. Based upon the length of time I've done this for, the amount of videos I have versus the amount of subscribers I have, not sure when that's going to happen, or if it isn't going to happen at all. And this is going to kind of be a little earmark towards a later thing that's going to be mentioned at the very, very end of this particular video, because I don't want to get off subject too much from what I have laid out here, but just know that I'm at the pivot point where I'm trying to take this as from a hobby and turn it into a possible business, and I don't know how to wrangle in that many subscribers, I'll say, to actually to do that. Going back to my list here, since it is spring 2017, most people do spring cleanups. It's time for me to do a spring cleanup. I have stuff lying around here, both here in the lab, at my parents' house, in their attic and basement. I have a big shelving unit over the corner of my camera over here with tons of stuff just piled up on it. I got stuff out in the shed to take a look at and open up and play with and all these different things, and I gotta get on it. And once I'm done with these things, if I don't want it, I'm getting rid of it. It's going bye-bye. So that being said, I mentioned before about eBay. I used to sell on eBay back a while ago, we'll say, quite a few years ago, a decade ago maybe. I buy things all the time on there, but I haven't really posted anything on there in a while. And two major reasons why. One, PayPal. PayPal's awesome and a nightmare at the same time. You know, there's a lot of protection there, and there's a lot of way to get scammed too. I had somebody buy something from me. It's years ago, so the story's a little fuzzy, honestly. But the thing is something happened between here and there. It ended up being an exchange back and forth between me, the seller, and the buyer. What ended up happening was they bought a piece of audio equipment from me. It was packaged very well. The thing was in perfect working condition, and it was a mixer board that you hook to your computer, but it can also be hooked to another mixer board as an expansion. What happened was they got the thing and decided that it didn't work the way they wanted it to, and somehow that was my fault. The thing wasn't meant to be used in that way, particularly in their situation, but they thought it would work. They ended up wanting to put a return in. I accepted the return. It was within the parameters. You know, it sucked that they couldn't get it to do what they wanted to, but part of the eBay listing, I did mention I could do returns in a couple days. Well, the return came back to me damaged, broken. It's because they didn't pack it right. And I immediately put a complaint in, like, hey dude, what the hell? Like, you return this to me, you want your money back, but, you know, whatever. The guy put a claim into eBay, and PayPal got involved, and PayPal said, well, you know, you guys got to settle it out, and if you don't, we're going to, you know, take money from you, and we're going to do all these things. And that particular situation got resolved. Luckily, he got half the money returned back to him, and I got my product returned to me, and got to keep half the money. And luckily, I was able to repair the item, and I sold it here locally. If you're curious to what it was, there was a little joystick that you could use to kind of move the sound around. It was a 3D joystick, and that was the only thing that was sticking up the tallest from the board. Shipping it out, I had a little cardboard sleeve around it to prevent it from breaking. When he sent it back, he didn't put the sleeve, the package got dropped and bent the stick. But the stick wasn't the problem. It caused so much damage that it actually shattered the circuit board directly underneath it, and it split it, it cracked it right in half. So I plugged it in right away and turned it on, and half the board lit, and half the board was dead. So I took it all apart and realized, yeah, Jesus, look at the giant crack in that thing. So I spent some time, and I redid like 4 or 5 traces, got it all back in pristine working condition, and like I said, sold it here locally. Craigslist. Going back before that, which is a really fuzzy story, the seller, the buyer, I should say, put a claim in against me when there was nothing wrong with the product. They just were trying to scam me. And they told PayPal that they were in contact with me. I didn't help them. I didn't do this and that, which was a lie. They never contacted me at all, and PayPal just went, okay, well, take the money right out of your account. And I didn't have money in the account. It was one of those things that I was selling stuff to make money to buy other stuff, so I spent it. It was gone. They garnished my checking account, came right out, and so I had left a very bad taste in my mouth. Of course, I still use the service. You know, people send me money on PayPal for services that I do. They always say let the buyer beware, but you know what? Honestly, it's let the seller beware. But that being said, I have so much stuff piling up in here. I got to do something with it. So I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to start posting to eBay again. And the idea is for example, I have some stereo equipment. What we'll do is we'll take one piece of the equipment. I'll tell you what it is. I'll plug it in. We'll test it out. If it doesn't work, we'll do whatever we have to do to make it work. If it's got like scratchy audio, let's say it's an audio amplifier, you move the volume knob, it's scratchy. We'll get in there, we'll clean it, we'll do what we have to do to refurbish it as best as possible and as cheaply as possible. I don't want to spend too much money on this stuff. And then the stuff will be sold, gone. Anything I do sell, I plan on using the proceeds to fund the channel. So yeah, I want an oscilloscope, for example. I would love to save that money up and buy an oscilloscope with it. Things like that. I have to do this because I only have so much room. It's been collecting over the years, not just during the time of this channel, but it's things that I've just personally had that I don't want to say I'm a hoarder, but I kind of get it from my dad a little bit, where I don't throw that away, we could use that for something. And there are a handful of times we've used these things. There's certainly lots of parts that I've taken out of stuff, but there comes a point where it's just too much. I got to be careful though, because there are some things that I've gotten rid of before in the past, like old game systems, things like that, where I've let go of it, and then here I am years later kicking myself going, why the heck did I ever get rid of that? So I got to really go through with a fine comb, but a lot of this stuff is just piling and piling and piling, and it seems like I'm always getting a computer to here's, take this printer for parts, take this computer for parts, or this thing isn't working, maybe you can figure it out why. So this will be, all these things will be subjects of videos in the very near future, but that being said, it's got to be done. Hopefully going into this season I get a little bit more motivated. You would think while it was the winter time and I was kind of shut indoors the whole time, I would have did all that, but I really just didn't. I found excuses, or other things came along. Like I had a video I wanted to make on something, and all of a sudden I get an email about a product someone wants me to review, and they'll send it to me, and that kind of took precedence because I thought that'd be kind of cool thing to do. So some things got pushed aside, some things I moved forward. It'll all be straightened out hopefully soon. So mentioning that, since it is the springtime and spring leads in the summer, I'm planning on taking some vacation. Usually I go in May and September. This year it's going to be June, July, and September. I get 3 weeks this year. We'll get into the whole job thing in a moment, but probably going to do some camping like I did. Every time I seem like I go on a trip, I buy a thing or two, and I'll show that off, of course, and the trip will be posted to my personal channel. That's a way to segue into what's coming up. So I do have some things I want to build and make, as I mentioned, relating again to camping. So we'll get into that. One of them is a rooftop hot water heater system. There's some neat things I've been thinking about, and we'll see if the money presents itself. If I have some free cash to play around with, if we can do these things, we'll do them. Part of the conundrum is, right now, doing 2 uploads a week is kind of teetering on a spot where it's not necessarily becoming difficult, but I think I need to go to having 1 upload a week instead of 2. The reason because is I try to shoot video over the weekend and edit it and upload it and everything Monday night, and that way when I come home from work Tuesday night, all I have to do is maybe make the thumbnail, write some description up, and then present it to you guys and make it public. But that means Thursday's episode, I have the remainder of Tuesday and Wednesday to shoot. So that doesn't really leave me with a whole lot of time. I'm not a TV guy, but there are a show here and there that I like to watch. I've gotten into Survivor in the last few years. My wife has watched every episode of it. So Wednesday nights is Survivor night. So there's a good hour time that I dedicate to watching that, for example. So that's an hour less I get to work on videos. But I figured if I had 1 upload a week, perhaps the content of that video will be better. It'd be better editing. It gives me a chance to do more takes. I know a lot of people really work better under the gun. You know, that 11th hour, this has to be done now. I need it for tomorrow morning. And they do an all-nighter, and the thing comes out amazing. And while I can admit that sometimes my best work is done under the gun, it's very stressful. I think it'd be better for me to kind of back off just a little bit. And it's kind of, you think it's counterintuitive, right? Like I'm doing all these videos, I'm at the 1K mark, you know, that should be incentive for me to make more videos, but based upon weather getting nicer, I want to go out and do some more hiking. I want to definitely go out on a couple camping trips. I want to do these things that are more outdoor related. That means I can't stay in here and do this stuff, obviously. So it's give and take, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I mentioned that because if it does happen, everyone has a little bit of an advanced warning that it's going to happen. So if all of a sudden you just notice, oh, it's Tuesday, I usually see a video from Chris on Tuesday. Where's this video? Oh, it's Thursday. Where's the video today? It's been 2 days. Probably because I'm going to move it to Friday or something. Of course, in the long run, I would love to do a video every day. If I had more time to do so, of course I would. You know, I have enough things to talk about and I have enough stuff to show off where I certainly can do that. Part of the thing, and this is going to sum up this video, this is the last point to make. This all kind of comes into one big full circle thing. Life. I mentioned motivation. I mentioned being lazy. It's an unfortunate part of life. We all have our moments. A lot of the viewers on this channel watch the same channels I watch. Great Scott, Big Clive, AVE, Jillian Illett. I don't know if you guys watch UXW Bill or VWest Life, but I watch all those guys. Everyone's different. Everyone is similar too, and I think I touch upon all the things they do too. But the point is I don't want to say I want to be like those guys, but I want to be successful too. I want more time to work on these things. I want to make more videos. I want to do all this stuff. I want money to come in from it, but there's a thing, and it's that laziness, that motivation thing. And AVE actually had a great video the other day. It was called Frequently Asked Questions. I'll try to put a link to that somewhere in the video or somewhere in the description. He talked about being motivated and what keeps you motivated and how he stays motivated. And then one of the things he mentioned was like setting a timer for an hour, so you're only on the computer for an hour. I live on my computer. I don't watch TV except that one show like I mentioned. Maybe like America's Got Talent, you know, something like that. I'm not a drama person. I'm not into any of that stuff. I'm not even into movies. But the computer's my life. Between YouTube and just researching stuff, geeking out, writing code for Arduino, whatever the story is, it seems like I can always find something to do in the computer, which is bad because it ends up sucking me in. There's great things you can do on there, and there's a lot of really awful time wasting things you can do too. And I just have to learn how to sift through all of it and just really hunker down and put my time into this. One of the things that made this video hard to do was because it's all kind of all over. You know, I'm talking about new subscribers, past videos, new videos, want to make more, should be making less. I'm talking about all these contradictory kind of things, but it comes down to a job. And this is where it all kind of ends with a job. I have a job, I have a day job. Everyone has a job, a thing to make money on. Between shooting this stuff on Sunday and tonight, unfortunately, I had an issue at my job. Don't want to go into too much of it. I will tell you that I was sent home today, and I'm not supposed to go back tomorrow, and I'm not supposed to go back on Friday. And as far as I know, I can go back Monday. I don't really want to go back on Monday. The place has left a very bad taste in my mouth. Feel, I don't want to say alienated. It's a big, long, complicated thing. Some things happened. I wasn't necessarily in the right, so I can't say, hey guys, go spam my ex-job because they're assholes. I don't want that to be the thing, and don't take it that way. Part of it's their problem, part of it's my problem. At the end of the day, what happened shouldn't have happened, and it's left me, like I said, with a very bad taste in my mouth and not wanting to go back. So on that end, I'm really motivated. I want to make more videos. I want to get my face out there. I want to do more stuff. I'd love to get my truck lettered, so I'm a big driving billboard. Maybe that'll drum in more business. Maybe advertise and do some stuff. Word of mouth, hand some cards out. Maybe I'll spend some time tomorrow doing some of this stuff. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But the thing is if something happened right now where I knew I didn't have to go back to that place ever again, I would be so overjoyed. I've been there for over 5 years. I've been in the last place before that 8 years. I've been in the place before that over 5 years. Consider myself to be fairly loyal. Now I know there's people that have been at their jobs 20 years, 30 years. That's a career, and I haven't really found any of these jobs to be a career yet. They never really go exactly the way I want them to go, and it's unfortunate, but let this be a lesson to people out there. You know, I was never a college person. I always felt like that was pushed on people, and that wasn't necessarily the way for them to go. I'm not advocating doing that either, but you do need something to fall back on. You can't just have a high school degree and get a job. All of a sudden you lose that job and then you get another one easily. It doesn't always happen that way. Maybe you got out of high school and you got a job working for somebody and you stayed there for 20 years and you built a career out of it, and you became like the head of your department, the head of the field. You know, you're the president of the company. You really worked your way up the ladder. For me at the time, to go to college and to get a degree and to say, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, I never had any interest in that. People said, go into computer programming, go do this, go do that. I never had any interest in that because I felt like at that age, I didn't have all the tools handed to me to try out yet to see what I really wanted to do. And I'm 35. I still feel like I don't know what I want to do with my life. But let that be a lesson. If I had to do it all over again, if I can go back in the past and kick myself in the and say, hey, do this, I would have put myself in the technical school. I would have became an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, a welder, or anything where you use your hands and you learn a skill, because that skill is always in demand. Going back to a plumber. If I was a plumber and I worked at this place right now and it was a plumbing job and something happened, I can go get another plumbing job because I already do it. Unless I said, screw plumbing, I don't ever want to do this again, then I want a complete career change. I want to mention something. Somebody, one of my friends on Facebook, one of my high school friends, posted something the other day on Facebook that really kind of was intriguing. He says that it wasn't something he made, by the way. It was just something he reposted. But the post was about quitting your job versus quitting your boss. A lot of people don't quit their job. They quit their bosses. It's the boss that's the problem. In my situation, it's the owner of the business that's the issue. Other than that, I don't mind the job. It's a job. I'm responsible. I get up in the morning, I take a shower, I go to work, I do my job damn well, I come home at the end of the day, and that's it. My job's done. I don't really get too concerned about things. I don't really let things bother me too much. They do bother me sometimes when things aren't going right, and that's not because I'm being a downer. I'm saying, well, you know, you guys aren't doing it. It's because I want to succeed. I want my business to succeed. I want the place I'm working for to succeed, because when they succeed, I succeed, and that's, you know, it's like synergistic. When you work for a place that it's like 80% great, but the remaining 20% sucks so bad that it makes you just want to go, I'm out, I'm done. That's a thing. And you know, I know a lot of places are like that. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. I can go place tomorrow and work there for a couple days and realize this place stinks. Most of the time I get a job, I'm there for years. I don't back out of it because I'm in it for the loyalty. With this last incident, it's just like, oh, it's icky. Oh, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to touch that. it's bad. There's some stuff going on there that I don't want to be a part of anymore. But you know, I can't just quit my job. So we'll see what happens in that. It kind of stinks. It's like I said, it's left a real sour taste in my mouth. It's left me kind of angry. And you know, when you get so mad at something, you get beyond the anger. You know, you start with like, oh my god, and it's oh my god, and then you're like, what the and you just want to explode, right? This was just like, all right, okay, it is what it is. I'm going home. Like I couldn't even get aggravated. I was so beyond being aggravated that it just turned into whatever. I'm just gonna go home. So it is what it is. I'll just have to take it with a grain of salt and, you know, carry on with my life. You know, it's one of those things where if you could just go and disappear, oh, that'd be great. I would just, where'd he go? I haven't heard from Chris in like months. Don't know where he is. Just, you can't just disappear. You know, you got to be responsible. You got to stand up and put on the big boy pants and go do what you got to do. But that being said, it's getting time for me to really start digging around and either find another place, another day job to work at, or like I said, really work really hard to making money off of YouTube and making money off of side business. It's probably easier just to find the other job, frankly. There's something about having a job. There's security there. I guess at the end of the day, no job really is secure, but you know, when you get hired for a place, as long as you show up, do your job, remain relatively calm, don't become an idiot, you know, as long as you follow the basic guidelines, once you have the job, theoretically you should always have the job, unless there's some major business problem where they're cutting people back, lay off, so forth, because money's not coming in, and that's, you know, part of life. It happens. What are you going to do? Hopefully something will fix itself. Something will come of this. I'll find another place someplace. But the thing is having that security is great. That will allow me to still put food on the table, provide for my wife, have a roof over my head. And, you know, if someone calls me to fix their computer, I still have all my tools and parts. I'm still available. I just have to work around the day job. If all of a sudden, you know, the phone rings off the hook and I have to, you know, take a day here, take a day there, and do these jobs or whatever, or work over the weekend or whatever, then I'll revisit it and I'll say, you know, it's time to, you know, scale back on the day job or whatever. Right now, I just need to have the security of having that day job. I need to know that I have a place to go every day and I have a job to do. There's a part of that really great. I don't think I could be one of these people that just sits on their couch eating Cheetos and watching TV all day long and just collecting a check. I can't do that. I need to be busy. As a matter of fact, just knowing tomorrow and Friday I don't have to go to work. Most people go, woohoo, I don't have to go to work. I literally have to find something for me to do. I will have to clean the house. I will have to go through all this stuff I have lying around. I'll be making videos. I'll be doing something to keep myself occupied, because if I don't, I'll just be sitting in my computer chair playing on YouTube all day long. And that's kind of what I do on my days off. My wife and I like to stay up kind of late on our Friday and Saturday night. So that means we sleep late, and sometimes I get up early because I just can't stay in the bed anymore, and I just come in here and just hang out and do nothing all day. And I gotta stop doing that. I gotta get that whole laziness mentality out of my head. I gotta get more motivated, you know, whatever means possible kind of thing. I don't really have much more to add. This video's been kind of all over the place. I'm sorry if it's a little bit ranty. You can kind of imagine by the different things I wanted to talk about and what's been on my mind. You can see why it's kind of hard for me to try to put all these things into some bullet points and not actually talk about everything negatively. I'm trying to make all this positive. The whole thing about the job, I'm trying to turn that into something positive. I'm going to turn that into, here's an opportunity for me to go someplace else, or here's an opportunity for me to learn how to work with these idiots, or whatever, however you want to spin it. I need to spin it positively. I don't want to turn it into, oh my god, what am I going to do? I just want to disappear. I just want to fall off the face of the earth. You know, I don't want to turn it into that, because you can easily turn it into that and get into this downward spiral where you're just constantly going down the tubes until you find yourself into obscurity, and you just want to turn to drugs or turn to like offing yourself or something like that, where you're just like, to hell with it all. I'm just gonna, you know, turn into a ball of mush in the corner of the room. Who gives a crap? I don't want to do that. That's the easy way out. I don't want the easy way out. I want the hard way out. I want to be able to get down to the pit and crawl back up it, you know. not only crawl back up it, build my ladder and climb out of it, or get the old rope thing and, you know, just climb right out of it, you know, do that kind of thing. And hopefully this is the thing that's going to do that for me. If any of you out there have any ideas on how to help me, of course that's kind of a shot in the dark, but I'm definitely willing to hear from you guys. Any suggestions you may have. Even if it's, dude, you need to get off your ass. Or, dude, it's a job. Everyone has a sucky job. It's a part of life. You know what? You need to go down there and tell your boss to go himself. Like, whatever it is, I'm definitely open to hearing that. You know, I would love to hear some kind of positive encouragement right about now. That'd be awesome. Don't worry about me, guys. I'm not going anywhere. Definitely in this for a long time. I'm not just gonna go, ah, I'm out. I'm not gonna do that to you guys. It's a lot of fun doing these videos. It is a little stressful sometimes because I'm putting the stress on myself. I wanna be awesome at this. I wanna make awesome videos. I wanna talk about things in an intelligent way without having formal training on anything. It kind of gets hard to talk about stuff like that, but it is what it is, and we'll continue doing the good things we do here, and we'll see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.